but she's past 20 weeks, and she's doing great. And I think they live 4 blocks from us, and with COVID, they can't go anywhere, so we get to spend a lot of time with them. So it's really been very, very lucky for us, I have to say.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, okay, let's see here. We're piling in. Hey, Carlos, how are you? Okay, let's see. Jack, Jess, Ron. We're piling in. Not quite yet. We're live on YouTube. And we will. I'm Bill Gross, real estate broker here in West Los Angeles, California. And I imagine if I had a more polished introduction, I'd be playing that right now and they'd be impressing everybody. But this is our real estate investing zoom.com, where every week we get together and share about tips, tricks, and methods for real estate investing. We have a special guest who's going to join us here shortly. But I do want to share with you kind of one, let's see here, 1 second. How do I get speaker view? For some reason, I'm not the speaker. Let's see, what's pinned. There we go. Okay. So we talk about this is for brand new investors, experienced investors, get them together, share ideas, share energy, and make some money together. I want to share with you, there's our guest. I want to share with you a little bit, a story. So this meeting is the outgrowth of a meeting I used to go to weekly in Van Nuys. It was a real estate, it's Prosperity Through Real Estate, is a real estate investment organization. And they host a regular event, I think Tuesday night currently. But pre-COVID, every Wednesday at noon, actually 11:30, they had a meetup in the Valley in Van Nuys at the Sizzler, or as Casey Eberhardt says, Sizzler. And so I go there, and I started in probate real estate 2.5 years ago. I'd be downtown LA, finish around 10:30 or 11, and then drive to Van Nuys, which we live in LA, West LA, you never would go to the Valley unless you had to. But it was a very productive meeting. There'd be 40 or 50 people there. And every week I'd meet 2 or 3 new people. And I made that my goal, walk out with 3 new people, names, address, phone numbers. And over time, if you meet new people and you have a good grasp of the business, you'll make money. That's just how life works. There's no real magic other than that. And so I did that. And that meeting, from the end of the first year, I made about $40,000 in commissions. The next year, I made about $100,000 in commissions. And I'm continuing to make money from the group I met there to this day. In fact, just today, I collected on 2 transactions we did about $40,000. I literally got the checks FedEx and deposited them today. And one of the guys I met there, this is the story I'm going to tell you guys of what's possible. So one of my friends, I don't want to say his name or embarrass anybody, but we've done a deal together from that meeting. And we've stayed in contact. He's been on this call a few times. He called me about 6 months ago and said, hey, Bill, I know this guy who has his property he's inherited. He owns it in his name, but it's a mess and he wants to get rid of it. And like a lot of these people, he didn't really get ready to sell it day one. It takes time for whatever reason. He's busy. He went trying his own. He went a higher price. I don't know the real story, but here's what I do know. The friend I met at this meetup, a Precursor Live event, got under contract. Now, he put down $10,000 of deposit, but frankly, for this deal, I would have given the $10,000 up front. He didn't have to have the money. He had it. And we closed in 10 days. He had the financing. I arranged the financing for him. I did transaction financing. He sold it and sold to somebody else right away. So he didn't need any deposit money, though he had $10,000, not a lot. He didn't have to be credit worthy, though you can, if you want your own, meet hard money lenders and get financing. There's a hard money lender on this call right now. Ed Berlinski's a great guy to meet if you need that. But he didn't have it, didn't qualify even. And he made net in this deal $100,000. And the deal was in escrow for maybe 13, 14 days. Now I'll say he worked that lead for about 6 months. And what I will tell people is you have to work multiple leads to get one that closes. It's very rare to get one lead and it closes and you get paid. Usually you work with 100 leads to get one to close. But that's what can happen in real estate. Now, for many of you, $100,000, and I don't want to embarrass anybody, but for most of you, $100,000 would be more than you made in a year or 2 years or more, maybe. That's what's possible, but you got to work at it. You got to work at it hard, consistently, learn the business, and get better over time. But that's what's possible. We're talking about life income.
Can I ask you a question, Bill?
Yeah, go ahead.
So on that purchase on the acquisition side, where you said you set up the financing, did you get paid a commission?
I got paid a commission to set up the deal, not the financing.
So this was an off-market sale?
Yeah.
Did the seller pay you a commission, or your buyer, your investor?
The buyer. I coached the buyer through the process. I said to him, I'll help you put this together, but you pay me a commission. He agreed to that. And he decided to pay me a commission. And then we got a contract. I said, hey, I can arrange transaction financing and have a seller for you at this price. I went to another investor of mine. And I said to the next investor, will you pay me if I get you in this deal? He said, yeah. So in this case, I had both buyers pay me commissions rather than sellers.
Okay. And you found the property for him?
No, my client brought me the deal. He knew the guy who had the property.
Got it.
So that's why I tell you guys all the time, the only thing you need to focus on is finding the deal. If you find the deal, there's money to get paid.
And then you're going to represent them on the resale side, right? When they flip it?
Right.
Correct. Okay.
Don't have to. Every deal's different. In this case, they want me to.
And you met this guy at an investor mixer that brought you the deal.
At this event's precursor, which was in the Valley at the Sizzler on Wednesdays at 11:30. In fact, some of you on the call have been to that meeting. I know Ed, that's where I met you at, in particular, Ed Berlinski. Dr. Ed's on this call. I remember the first time I went there, Dr. Ed grilled me at that meeting. He's a great resource. That's the only person I see on this call for that meeting right now, but that's where I got it from. So this is just a lead I met by going to real estate investment events like this. I met the guy, stayed in contact with him. We did a deal. We've done 2 deals together already. This is my 3rd with him. I meet him a lot. In fact, the last deal I got him in made him about $100,000 also. But he's a hustler, so I got him into a deal, and he earned it. But here's my point of all this: you find a deal, if there's a deal there, there'll be money for it. Whether it be Dr. Berlinski is a hard money lender or somebody else, there'll be money for the deal. Just find the deals. How you do that? Talk to people. Follow up on your leads. Okay? Before I turn it over to Wendy, I want to promote one other thing. Before I turn over to our guest today, I want to promote one other thing today, which is for real estate agents, the Grant Cardone Real Estate Challenge. This is a free event, May 10th through 14th. It's online. You don't have to pay anything for it. Now, if you sign up, he'll ask you to upgrade and pay for a workbook and some other material, which you can do or not do. You don't have to. But in this environment, I think this is the best coaching for real estate agents and salespeople in the market, bar none. And he'll some great guest speakers. Tarek Al-Musa, I used to work with and coach for a bit. Glenn Sanford, founder of EXP. Ryan Serhart, one of the top realtors in the country. So this is a free online. If you want to go to grantcardone.com/challenge. And it's a free real estate challenge event. Can not recommend that strongly enough. That said, today, I'm really excited to have as our guest, special invited guest. Truth be told, I begged her to come on this call. And I think it's Dr. Wendy Lovejoy, if I remember correctly. Wendy Lovejoy, she's born in South Africa, raised in New York. She's a New Yorker. And she runs a real estate investment group, the Real Estate Investment, I think, Association of Long Island in Queens. She'll tell you the details. So it is my great pleasure today to introduce our guest speaker, Wendy Lovejoy. Wendy? Maybe she's muted. It was bad timing. Wendy, you available?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How you doing? There you are.
Yay. How are you?
I'm great. I got Wendy Lovejoy in my call. I'm doing great. How are you?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was listening to you. And first of all, thank you so much for sharing your platform and allowing me to share who I am here. I'm really excited. It seems like you, like myself, help a lot of people to get understanding of what it is to be a real estate investor. And I see the EXP in the background. So you get to work on both sides, real estate and investing. So I will be speaking today to more of the real estate investing side. I am a licensed broker in the New York area, and I actually have two REIAs. One is in Long Island. So we focus on Long Island, Brooklyn, and Queens. And then we have another in Atlanta, Georgia. So, but I have been a licensed broker in the New York area for about 15 years now. And I took a little break just to share. And I got involved in multi-level marketing. And then I decided to come back and do real estate full time. I am also in ministry. That's where you kind of got the doctor from. But I am in ministry. So I do help a lot of men and women to, get their lives together. And I believe real estate is the one thing that changed a lot for me. So I don't know if you have questions for me, Bill, but for me, when I started in real estate, I had one desire, and that was to change my mother's lifestyle. As you mentioned, we came from South Africa, and growing up, I watched my mother work very hard. We were sold that the American dream was, once you get here, you'll find money on the floor. So I came here really excited, but I learned something from my stepfather, who's passed away now. And he shared with me that you're to invest more money than you spend. So I always saved. And then I got into real estate investing because I happened to be watching a newscast in Bronx, New York. My mom lived in the worst part of the Bronx at the time. And so I was watching the news, just trying to figure out, I don't know how many people are familiar with the Carlton Sheets and people like that. And so I bought his course, which back then, which was like 1992, was about $1,500. And you got this box with so-called everything in it. And then I tried to do everything the box told me, which was cold calling, basically, from the newspaper. And then I watched a gentleman do a newscast, and he had somebody with him that he said in the next 24 hours, this gentleman has no credit. He has no cash, but I'm going to have him own a property within the next 24 hours. So I said, I'm going to come back and watch this news program to see if it happened. And the guy did, because at that time I had no credit, which was considered bad credit, but I had a desire to put my mom in a home. So I followed his course, went out to California. It was Robert Allen, and he is the founder. He is the godfather of everything we do now when it comes to real estate investing, including the REIAs. It was originally real estate. Robert Allen's No Money Down was how all the REIAs started. And I was a marketing director for one of the largest REIAs in Atlanta, Georgia, for about 2 years. And so I learned a lot, but I did learn how to find properties, speak to people, and get them to choose to work with me. And I think that's what people leave out. As you mentioned earlier, I heard you say that it's finding the deal. People have to focus on finding the deal because there's always somebody who can finance it and who will, be willing to take the deal from you, whether you're a bird dog, a wholesaler, you want to fix and flip. But as real estate investors, we don't make any money unless we're either investing or we're helping somebody else invest in real estate. So my thing that I like is, for me, we define motivated sellers. I know you focus also on probates. That's a motivated seller. Foreclosures, tired landlords. There's a list of motivated sellers. And whatever app or whatever way you choose to find them, we break it down. My favorite way is the yellow letter. So that's the kind of thing that I like to share. The yellow letter, whether you do it handwritten or you do postcards, it's the same concept. You're putting a net out, and you're waiting for people that need to sell, that have a problem, to contact you. But now once they contact you, do you know what to say? Do you know what information to get? Because as an investor, we're not selling the house. When I'm wearing my broker's hat and I get a listing, or I take a buyer, traditional buyer, to go look at a home, I am selling a house. But when I'm putting on my investor hat, I am selling the deal. So I've got to find motivated sellers who are looking to sell their home at a discount because it's an issue. And then I've got to find somebody that will take that off my hands, and they're purchasing the contract that I have. So I'm wholesaling my contract. And so if I don't find a good contract, if I don't make the deal either discounted, priced correctly, or I have good terms, I'm going to be holding on to that property. And so again, you said something which I think is so, so important. You can't focus on one deal. You can't. Most people do not have the batting average of you get one deal and then you close that one deal. So it's really good to have more than one contract. And once you have more than one contract, you're definitely going to have closings and sales. So that's basically what I like to work on and teach.
So tell me about, I actually jumped in on your Meetup, like all of us. We scrambled to move from in-person to online. I jumped in one of your New York meetups, partially because my daughter's married to a boy from Long Island, and we're going back in June for a wedding for his family. And so I spent some time in New York. Tell me about your program. What do you, how do you assist people who are brand new, let's say, looking to invest property? How do you help them from, I don't know anything, I'm scared, to here's my check and I buy property?
Well, here's the first thing we like to do, because I've learned being in the industry now going about 30 years, and I know I look very young. That's just, I'm only kidding.
Okay,
but
I'm sorry, I was late. Oh my God, that's impossible. You don't look 30 years old.
Perfect comeback.
Thank
But seriously, I've been in the industry now going on 30 years.
Wow.
And what I have found is that the best thing is to first have a conversation with the person and see where they are, what they know, and what they're trying to accomplish. So I like our system because I personally speak to everybody, and I don't work with everybody. I look for people that are looking to be coachable, that are looking to learn the systems and have the discipline to put in the discipline. So the first thing I want to know is what you're trying to accomplish. And then we discuss, whether, again, I like doing the yellow letter first, but some people just need scripts. So depending on what you already know when I'm speaking to you, that's what we're going to focus on. But the yellow letter mentoring program is a system where either you already know how to get leads yourself, or we show you apps, templates, whatever, to get the leads. And once you get the leads, we show you how to either create a postcard, create the letter to market to those leads. And then when the phone rings, we show you what to say, how to analyze the deal. And you have a lot of people online that they could be connected to. But in case they didn't have a team, they need attorneys, they need lenders, or whatever it takes to get them from putting the contract together, signed, and then getting it executed. We start with all of that. So I really believe what we do is hold your hand from the very beginning of you getting started in real estate, and helping you to, like I said, find out what kind of motivated sellers are you looking for? Are you focusing on tired landlords? Are you focusing on probate? And then we show you how to market to that community. And then when your phone rings, how to answer it, or if you're doing an email, a text blast, whatever is the way you want to follow up with them. We give you scripts, templates, and hold your hand till you do your first deal, your first 3 deals, actually.
Very nice.
Mhm.
I noticed I put in the chat box your website, yellowlettermentoring.com. I noticed on there you have a button, schedule call with Wendy. So
Yes.
walk me through, if I was interested and I go there and I click on it, what might that call look like?
Well, what the call will look like, it's going to be at least 15 minutes. We do 15 to 30 minutes. And on that call, I'm going to ask you certain questions. What are you looking to get out of real estate? What part of real estate investing are you trying to focus on? What made you choose this industry? And what kind of time and or income can you put into getting started? And based on that, we'll give you a game plan. But I always ask people to not just accept the game plan because I gave it to them. I ask them to accept the game plan that they know they're willing to have the discipline and are willing to execute. And we'll keep working and communicating until you get that game plan that you're going to walk out.
Now, you said something interesting with that. In another way, I say the same thing all the time, which is in any business, to grow it, you have to invest 1 or 2 things, time and or money. That's it.
Yes.
Either you have money to invest and you get a return, or you have time to invest, your work, you get a return, or both. But there's nothing else. There's no other way to really make money in the long run. True or false?
Yeah, that's very true. And actually, that's the shortcut. People think the shortcut is an app or some get rich quick scheme. That's not going to help you. I promise you, if I had not taken the time to invest money and time I thought I didn't have, I would have never been able to accomplish the very things that I got into real estate investing to do. Which for me, as I mentioned before, my first goal was to buy my mom a home, and I ended up buying her a 4-family, was the first one. And since then, I've bought her 3 homes and coached and mentored other people how to do the same.
Wow.
But there's no other way to do it and succeed long term. You've got to put in the time and or the money. You've got to put in both sometimes.
Now, just to confirm, I'm not getting anything from you. I'm not getting any referral fee or affiliate. I even asked for it. I don't want it. I thank God I do real well in my real estate practice. But I get asked almost daily, every week for sure, how do I get into real estate investing? Where do I start? Now, I do help some first-time investors find property, but my basic bread and butter is with some pretty sophisticated investors. And so I don't really have the training class. I have kind of like, you have a problem, I'll solve it, we can make some money, but I haven't taught you a lot. That's just not my business. And no offense, but you're really teaching that. So give me an idea of, I'm in the class, I'm doing some of the prospecting. How involved are you involved when we do find a deal that I'm interested in, but I'm not sure to write the check, I don't write the check. How involved are you in that process, the contracts, the forms and such? Describe what that might look like, the mentorship.
Well, let me go back to something you said. And Bill, I'm going to have people eavesdropping on our conversation. When we first spoke about me doing this, you specifically made it clear you wanted nothing for it.
Nothing.
So I said, because I was even thinking, okay, he's going to ask for something, but you made it specifically clear that your goal is to help the people that are new in the industry that approach you. And for me, I'm as involved as they want me to be. I have some of my investors where they're literally texting me while they're speaking to a seller, telling me what the seller is saying, and I'm giving them feedback from there. Some of them just want me to send them the contracts, the worksheets, and and then some want me to help them walk through from beginning to end. I am not one of those investor coaches that believe that I want to help you to get 50% of your deal. My goal is, honestly, I want more people to understand the concept. I want more people to come in and really know what real estate is about, because when they do it wrong, it changes the rules and regulations for people like us who have been doing it forever and doing it correctly. So I definitely work with people as much as they want me to. There's no set way that I do it. It really depends on when we have that first game plan conversation. If you want me, as I mentioned before, I have people that want me to hold their hand. They're so afraid that they won't even talk to somebody unless they text me and say, what's the next step? And then there's some people that say, you know what, Wendy, I've done the marketing, I've got the calls, I've got the deal in contract, and now I just need to find somebody to take it off my hands. So it's wide open.
And when you do that and they get a deal and make some money, it's like you've really changed a life. That's what I enjoy. Now, I don't do it consistently. I just don't have the system like that you have. I'm hoping to send people to you as part of that process. But in real estate sales, when I help somebody get their first sale, it's like a life-changing experience for people. I love that joy. And I saw that in you when I came in on your call. We got a question from Abraham. He asks, is your program regionally specific?
It is regionally specific. I help people, believe it or not, from here to South Africa. I help people from New York, California. I used to have a meetup in California that actually I had my brother run, and now he's relocated to Atlanta. So he runs my Atlanta part. When I have a student in whatever area, I make sure that I have connections for them in that area. So yes, it's specific to your area.
Nice. Okay. Because usually New Yorkers, you guys don't know, past that little island, there's actually a whole world outside of New York.
And that's why I have ours. We actually deal in New York from Nassau, Suffolk, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, upstate New York. New York is pretty big. So yeah, I go outside of my little community of Nassau.
Very nice. Great. So look, I been in this business for a while. I get asked all the time, how do I get started in real estate investing? What's the first thing I should do? I listened in on Wendy's program personally, and I said, wow, this is exactly, it's not for everybody. I feel like there's certain flavors, and we all have a style we appreciate. We all have a cadence we appreciate. There's time slots and such. But I thought a lot of people I talked to on this call who want to get involved with real estate, this is the lady that you should pay attention to, and take her up on her offer to meet with her. And on her website, there's a schedule call with Wendy, so you should feel free to reach out. But while we have her, any other questions for Dr. Wendy Love? And make it a hard one.
Yes, give me a hard one. I'd love it. And anything you ask me, I'm answering questions for free today.
No?
If not, I do have my own call that I'll be starting in a few minutes, but yeah. I really enjoy and appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I know when Wendy has a call on Tuesday nights, her time, I think it's 6:30. So we dragged her in here because I had begged, pleaded, I wasn't asking for anything, but I just really think she's a great asset. She has a great job. Atlanta, we have a lot of people in Atlanta, a lot of people in New York. So Dr. Wendy Lovejoy, is it just mail marketing, or do you coach other channels? Good question.
Yes, I do. I do other channels, but the yellow letter mentoring is basically for people that want to learn about direct mail. If you have other apps, so again, I would really encourage that person to do the free call, to do the call first, the game plan call, so we could see if we're a good fit.
Good. Okay, so Abraham, there you go. Free offer, a coaching call with Coach Wendy. Go on to the yellowmentoring.com. Set up a time we talk to her individually. I know you got to run. Dr. Wendy, thank you so much. I'll be in New York in June, and we'll talk before then, and hopefully get a cup of coffee or something together.
Appreciate it. Have a great one.
Thanks.
Take care, people. Bye.
Okay, so, yeah, Abraham, that's a good question. I think I would say that in general, in the real estate investing world, yellow lettering is a tried and true core pillar of prospecting. Whereas I would say in real estate sales, our first core tends to be phone calling. I think in real estate investing world, the nature of investors tend to be less assertive by their nature, tend to be more passive. Mailing works that way. And I also think that it has worked over the years. Home sellers, may not get a phone call, but they get a letter, they open it, And so that's been a pillar of marketing for real estate investors as long as I've been in the business. So, but I'm sure she would customize it to whatever works, depending on where you are and what your budget is. So I'd reach out to her and see if you can help. So again, she's offered to give you free. Now you do SMS cold calling. So you do SMS plus cold calling plus Facebook ads. What area do you market in, Abraham? Geographically?
I unmuted myself. In Los Angeles, but I'm doing most of my deals in Oklahoma City.
So are you doing cold calling in Oklahoma City?
We have an agency that's working all of our leads out of Oklahoma City. So that's been outsourced, the marketing over there. But I started doing my Facebook marketing nationally last year, and I closed 5 deals. I'm new to real estate, so I'm looking to network and meet people. I partnered with a contractor from my youth right here in LA. So we're looking to do some fix and flips right here.
Oh, good for you. So that's fantastic. 5 deals is a phenomenal year for anybody.
That was last year. We're closing 4 this month from our Oklahoma City venture.
And you're an investor, correct? You're not an agent?
No, I'm an investor.
Good for you. Well, look, congratulations on your success, continued success going forward. And I would check out, talk to her and see if she's not able to give you some additional tips, methods to help you build your business.
I will. I love marketing, so I am going to reach out to her, see how I can integrate that into the lead flow that I'm generating already.
And it might be that you already have the lead gen, and she's going to help you a little more with the conversion and the deals, how to structure deals, put deals together. I think there's a combination of those kind of skills you got to get. I tell people, if you find a deal, bring it to me. I'll help you put it together. But at some point, you will graduate and do it on your own. I think that's what she's teaching, how to do the deals.
Yeah, I'd love to learn how to work this market right here. California's tough.
It is what it is. I think I don't think I would ever agree that it's tough or tougher than anywhere else. I would say it is what it is. It's different. One of the big differences is the volume is way bigger. Another difference is that there's more competitors. Where you have a bigger market, you tend to have, and a lot of competition, you have more intense competition. But our focus is different. In other markets, I happen to know Oklahoma City a little bit, you get more properties that you can buy and immediately flip. Here, you really have to add some value to the property. You really have to fix it up. And so you're buying really thrash properties and adding value to bring it back to the market to make money for the most part. So it's a different market. And people say all the time, well, I can't make any money in LA. I mean, I know investors that do. A lot of them, they make a lot of money, but they also work really hard, and they are intense, aggressive competitors. That's what it takes in an intense, aggressive market.
I'm looking forward to meeting everybody.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks. Thank you.
You should definitely check out some of the old videos because we talk a lot about them on YouTube. Bill posts those kindly, and I know that almost every week you'll get really, really good information about LA investing. Sometimes we talk about, oh no, LA is untouchable, but there's always a deal to be made. And everybody on this call always adds something that just will help you get to the direction that you're looking, and it's next level stuff. So definitely spend some time looking at the videos, and you'll get some really great eye opener ideas in there.
Will do.
Thank you. Agents will tell me it's a tough market. There's no inventory, right? If you go to the MLS, you'll see last month in LA, we did 10,000 sides in our MLS last month. So how many would you need to have a good month? 1, 2, there were 10,000. You only need 1 or 2. So the advantage of a big market is a little bit of a big market goes a long ways. I think that it's easy to attribute lack of success to market conditions or any excuse. But if you come from, I have to get so many deals, what do I have to do? You'll find a way. So, okay, Ed asked SMS, we got that. Good, any other questions? I shared with you guys about the Grant Cardone event. I think it's great for anybody. It's free. Did I mention free by chance? I really like free stuff. It's free. And I think what I like about it is more than any particular activity, real estate starts with your mindset. If your mindset's not right, you'll never do anything correctly. If your mindset's right, you'll figure it out somehow. I met Grant Cardone. He was a seller, an expired listing in about 12 years ago, 2010, maybe 2010, I think, in Hollywood Hills. And I cold called him as an expired listing, and he answered the phone. And I gave him my normal pitch. I was pretty good. At the time. He said, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "No." "Well, I'm Grant Cardone." Now, this was 2010. He had just moved from being a auto sales expert to a generic sales consultant. So up until then, if you were outside of auto sales, you never heard of him. If you're in auto sales, he was the leading salesperson, trainer in auto sales. So I said, "Well, I don't know who you are." And he said, "Well, I'm Grant Cardone, and I just wrote a best-selling book." As I talked to him, went online to Amazon, and he had just released Sell or Be Sold. And he said, "Before you call people, you should know who they are." And he hung up on me. I go, "Damn, this guy's pretty arrogant." I looked at the book. It looked good, so I bought it. And I read it. It was a great book, Sell or Be Sold. So he has moved from auto sales to generic sales or secular sales. And I think today is probably the #1 trainer in the world of real estate salespeople and general salespeople. He had a great event last month, the 10X Growth Con down in Florida. And then he has a real estate agent focused program coming up May 10th through 14th. It's free. It's online daily. He'll have speakers. He'll have things you can do. And if you sign up, they will definitely pitch you to upgrade, buy a workbook, and this, that, $50, $80. And I think if you're just a student of sales, you'll watch that process and can be interested to see what online selling looks like in today's business environment. But I would definitely recommend everybody on the call who's interested in selling. It's free, if I haven't mentioned that. So I would check that out. Okay, and I told a story about the guy making $100,000. That could be any one of you. So here's what I say to all of you. If you want to be the next guy making $100,000, do your work. Find somebody who has a house that you need to sell. Offer to help them. Dr. Red, I see you unmuted yourself. Do you have something you want to add?
I just had a suggestion based on a couple decades of experience, and it has to do with wholesaling. And I know many people begin their real estate careers wholesaling. And I guess the suggestion I'm about to make is based on the fact that I've seen so many people start out who wanted to wholesale, and they found something that they thought was a grand slam home run, if you will. And then it turned out that it was not a grand slam home run because in particular, there was much more rehabbing to do than this person thought there was. And so my suggestion to anyone who's starting to wholesale is to find an expert, find a rehabbing, remodeling expert. There's a person that just joins these from time to time. His name is Paul Krause. Paul has done hundreds of rehabs in and out. Now, it would seem to me to be well worth whatever fee Paul might charge, or someone like Paul, to go out to your property, take a look at it, and basically give you an estimate of what he feels the amount of money it's going to take to rehab this thing, which is so critical. And again, understand that a man in this position has himself many contacts of rehabbers who might be buyers for your product. So you're not only bringing in someone who could give you a much harder estimate of what it's going to take to fix this thing, but one of the best things you might find out is that it makes no sense whatsoever. And therefore you can save hundreds of dollars in terms of your time and efforts trying to sell something that doesn't make sense, because you are a beginner, you're not an expert, and the last thing you want to do is waste your time. And in addition to that, and I guess finally, I think you're always going to find when you have found a deal that you are going to call 2 or 3 people, and if you don't know what you're doing, they're going to convince you that the rehab costs are so much greater than you think they are, and therefore he can buy it at a price which is much less than you want him to buy it for. And if you have someone who is an expert, who basically has taken a look at it, you have some substance, if you will, in terms of your ability to respond to that person and say, no, 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 it's going to take X, Y, and Z. And therefore, you cover yourself so many different ways by just writing a check or giving someone 50, 75 bucks, whatever the case may be, to come out and give you somewhat of a harder estimate from a professional.
Great advice.
Yeah, no, what I would add is that there's definitely, I'll share with you proof of concept, because I did have an opportunity, and Ed was kind enough to share with me his knowledge and connect me with Paul. And I did avoid, the meteor hitting me, and I survived to be here today. So definitely, I would take Ed's advice. If you see a deal and you think the deal is too good to be true, sometimes it's too good to be true, but it's good to have a sounding board. And it's proof of concept to what Ed is saying, is to share it. Many hands make light work. And, this is definitely one of the reasons why I'm going to keep dialing into this, call, because of that specific reason.
Just give me the garbage.
Yeah, I'll add, I came to this meeting when I started a couple of years ago, and I have no experience in construction and costs and such. And I met a guy at the meeting at the Sizzler who has become a client, and I've sold now 3 houses to, made good money on those 3 properties. So that's because of the network. And what I'll say to all you guys is, one of the reasons I do this call is to meet people every week. One thing you should be doing is being here, introducing yourself, sharing your contact information, looking to meet people to build your toolbox of people who can help you. That's what I'm doing. That's how I make money, is put together a finance guy, construction guy. Somebody finds a deal, I put them all together, I get paid. And so I'd urge you all to participate. And I usually go to meetings with a goal to walk away with 1 or 2 contacts, people I've met, can talk to, that I can call back later and make a phone call to that's not a cold call. And I see so many people on this call and the ones I do with the cameras off and muted off, listening, and I appreciate that, but there's a lot of entertainment. My goal here is to sell some houses and make some money and help you guys make money. And so do they got to participate, meet each other, network a bit. I put in the chat box Paul Krause's contact info. If there's anybody else in this call that is a contractor and has those kinds of skills, share with us so we can all benefit, maybe send you some business as well. That's the purpose of the call. But Dr. Ed, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, that said, any other questions, challenges, problems? I don't see anything in the chat box. Melissa, thank you for sharing your information. Melissa Yaloa is a property management company, property manager. Huge, successful, over 700 doors in the South Bay of South LA. Anything you want to share with us on the property management front, Melissa? Any news or updates or special info?
Yeah, so it looks like it's, we might be optimistic to see the moratorium end in June, but New York has extended theirs to August. So it's possible that LA may be doing the same thing. So again, it's not impossible. Again, if anybody has issues, that's what we're here to do, is solve problems. We've got really great relationships with attorneys that specifically specialize in real estate. Very different from other attorneys that are out there. If there's a way to solve the problematic tenant issue, we will try to do so. So we're here as a great resource. I think the market rents are still kind of maintaining, which is fantastic. Of course, the house prices are very high, so it depends on where you purchase. But again, if you remodel the home nicely, that it's, again, they're not purchasing the house, you could still make a great amount of money. So thank you for giving me some floor space. Hi,
Sure,
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. And then while we have it, Gab, I know that you do escrow. Oh, she just jumped off. I just missed her. Oh, well. I want to give a little pitch to escrow because you know what? There's good escrow and there's bad escrow. And bad escrow is bad. Oof. Good escrow is good. And I'm not going to comment on the ones I just did. I want to help Gab build her business up. Okay, guys, that's all I have today. Any questions, call me, text me, email me. On Thursday at 4:00, we do probateweekly.com. We go over probate, title-related issues. And this we do every Tuesday at 3:00. Bring your friends, participate, meet each other, learn. If you have something you want to pitch, call, text me, email me. It's funny. I offer all the time. If you have a property you want to sell, send me ahead of time. I'd be glad to present it. And it is harder than I would ever imagine to get that. I think you guys are saving the good deals for yourself, but if you have something that you're having problems with selling, please reach out to me. In the meantime, I'm here, Bill Gross, 310-210-0008. Join me in the Real Estate Challenge, May 10th through 14th. It's free. And let's all make a lot of money together, guys.